Welcome to the channel. Yesterday was election day. Donald Trump won early this morning, and the market went haywire. Let's get straight into it. Before we get into Donald Trump and him winning the election and how that may affect the market and how it may change my opinion on where I believe that the market is going. As you can see here, the Dow Jones is up 3.38%, 1,400 points. NASDAQ is up 491, and the S&P is up 133. Real impressive for the market today. One of the things to really look at also is the 10-year yield is all the way up to 4.41. The Federal Reserve meets today. They supposed to lower interest rates tomorrow. So this is real interesting. This is interesting. We don't know what this means, but I think it may have some idea what I believe may happen. I hope that's not the case, but it may be. So 5:30 this morning, Donald Trump was declared the winner for the presidential election. And I can understand everybody going crazy, excited. Banks are up high. They think that they're going to have less regulation. That's one of the things that Trump talked about, how he's going to deregulate, how he's going to get the economy flowing. And I actually believe he's probably going to do that. He's probably going to do that. But what we got going on, I think, is so bad that a president just can't change it overnight. The president is not going to be able to lower housing prices. He's just not. The president is not going to be able to give a whole bunch of people money, or at least I hope not, and so that they can go out and spend on goods and services. So if he do have a major effect, it's going to take time. But if I had to guess, he's going to be a president sitting under a stock market that is really tanking, because there ain't much that he can do. He can deregulate, but he can't give people money. He can't lower housing prices. He can't lower car prices. He's probably not going to be able to stop the layoffs that's coming just in one election, and then all of a sudden change it. But one thing I do hope that happens, and I ain't saying the current administration is lying, but these numbers that we're producing, these job numbers, none of that seems to be in sync with what's going on in the economy today. So what I hope happens prior to January, prior to them transferring power, I hope that we come out with what the real numbers at. They already corrected the job report, for over the last year, 800 and something jobs. They lowered how many jobs was in this month is November. When they reported jobs in November for October, they changed the numbers for September. So I'm not going to say that they're lying. They take surveys and stuff to get these numbers. I guess something might have been wrong with the surveys, but I don't think the jobs numbers are correct. And I think that they were trying to keep the economy looking good so that they can help, the incumbent vice president win the election, but that didn't work. So again, I think Donald Trump will probably more than likely be better for the economy than Kamala Harris. That's just what I think. But the situation is so bad. I talk about the truckers, and one of the things that I haven't talked about is lumber. Lumber. They're not even really producing hardly any lumber right now because lumber just isn't selling, and the prices of lumber are so low that it ain't even worthwhile producing lumber because they're not really building that many houses. We're just not building anything. So a president just can't come in and all of a sudden get this big, huge economy flowing. As I talked about yesterday, that we only have two choices that we have when we have a market like this. By the way, the market being up this high, as again, I'm not a trader. I don't try to time the market. All I can do is go off of value. And I sell stocks when they're overvalued. I buy stocks when they're undervalued. So all we're doing is we're taking an overvalued market and taking it higher, which doesn't bother me at all. I still believe you got a 4.5 something percent T-bill. I believe over time that's going to outperform the market. This is just one day. This is just one day of the market. We can see why it could keep going up. Now I do know that my prediction, it's Trump is going to do a better job at fighting my prediction of this big bear market. But the two things again, we can have very small returns over the next couple of years, or we can wash out. Those are the two things we can do. And at this market being so high, being so overvalued, that I believe that a washout is imminent. I'm hoping that if they report the numbers and tell the truth about what's exactly going on in the economy, because people on the lower income, people might not care, but they matter. They matter. They go buy goods and services, and like I talked about, the dollar stores, they're doing terrible. They're not making any money. A lot of companies are doing terrible because ain't nobody really buying anything. And as the one article I talked about, we're at the beginning of this rapidly slowing economy. So you're going to have like the truckers, you're going to have like the manufacturers that supply products to the car industry. You're going to have you got like the lumber mills, they're hurting. So eventually that's going to lead over to people that build houses, companies. They're going to start suffering because they're not buying any lumber. Automotive companies are going to be hurting. They're not buying any parts to put together cars because they have so much inventory out there. And stores are going to be, I believe stores are going to be hurting. They're not buying, replacing any inventory. So if you're not replacing any inventory or you're not buying new parts, and you're still selling some cars or you're still selling stores within your retail store, you're going to be doing good. You're going to be doing good. I mean, a perfect example is I own a couple Dairy Queens. So if I had a huge supply of hamburgers, ice cream mix, French fries. So if I had let's say I had a 6 month supply, and then all of a sudden I see it slowing down rapidly, and I just start selling off the burgers that I have. I start selling off the ice cream because I'm going to bring my inventory down. It's going to look like I'm doing really, really well, even if my sales drop a little bit because I'm not replenishing my inventory at the level that is. So if my food cost is normally 30%, 28%, 33%, it might bring my food cost down all the way down to like 22%. So it's going to look like I'm making more money. So I know people probably think, man, the market blew. I can't believe he's standing behind his prediction. But the stock market isn't one day, it isn't one week. Like Benjamin Graham used to talk about the scale. The scale may balance, up and down, but good companies, good market is eventually going to weigh in one direction or the other. And when you kind of want to balance, or Mr. Market today, Mr. Market, because actually, if it was me and I had quite a bit of stocks today, I would be selling into this. I would absolutely be selling this because our troubles have not went away. We still got wars going on around the world. We still got a very, very bad economy. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen with all these tariffs and stuff like that he's proposing. I mean, if I had to guess, he's probably going to be good for the economy. But that ain't going to stop. That doesn't change that this stock market is completely overvalued. And we need to have a major correction. So that's what I got to say about that. Obviously, we gotta. It just makes this high that we're on is gonna make the fall even more. But we'll see what happens again. I always got a preference. I don't know when it's gonna happen. I don't know exactly why it's gonna happen. But throughout history, it happens. I don't know how much y'all know about tulip mania. People was going crazy over tulips, over a plant. They took them to high levels. So we may keep going higher, but I know it's uncomfortable for me. It's very uncomfortable to me. And I'm not interested in losing no money. I'm comfortable right now making some money because I got plenty of T-bills. But what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to lose no money. And as Buffett says, rule number 1, lose no money. Rule number 2, always remember rule number 1. Good luck investing, and we out.